It's interesting. Jonathan Lemire was saying that he heard reports and saw reports that outside of the Tulsa Convention Center, they were still selling anti-Hillary and anti-Obama wear, but nothing on Joe Biden. Corey Lewandowski a few weeks back, John, talked about, came in and said, okay, what's the message? And of course, he got in big trouble for asking a question that anybody should have asked. What's the message? Right. I want you to look at this clip about Donald Trump. This was near the top of the speech, talking about a ramp, and ask if Lewandowski wasn't onto something. Take a look at this.
Sir, we can now leave the stage. I said, great, General, let's go. I'll follow you. And he goes like this, right here, sir. I'll walk on. I said, General, I've got myself a problem, General, because I'm wearing leather bottom shoes, which is good if you're walking on flat surfaces. It's not good for ramps. And if I fall down, look at all those press back there. Look at that. And this was a steel ramp. You all saw it because everybody saw it. This was a steel ramp. It had no handrail. It was like an ice skating rink. I said, General, there's no way I can make it down that ramp without falling on my ass, General. I have no railing. We finally reached almost the end, and the fake news, the most dishonest human beings, they cut it off. You know why? Because when I was 10 feet short, I said, General, I'm sorry, and I ran down the rest, right? I looked very handsome. That was the only good thing. I said to our great First Lady, I said, let me ask you a question. Was it that good, the speech, that I'm trending #1? Because I felt it was really good. No, they don't even mention the speech. They mentioned the fact that you may have Parkinson's disease. So then my wife said, well, it wasn't only the ramp. Did you have water? I said, yeah. I was speaking for a long time. I didn't want to drink it, but I wanted to wet my lips a little bit. You know, you're working hard up there with the sun pouring down on you. They said, you couldn't lift your hand up to your mouth with water. I said, I just saluted 600 times like this. She said, well, I know what you did. You had on a very good red tie. That's sort of expensive. It's silk because they look better. They have a better sheen to them. And I don't want to get water on the tie. And I don't want to drink much. So I lifted up the water. I see we have a little glass of water. Where the hell did this water come from? Right? Where did it come from? And I looked down on my tie, because I've done it. I've taken water, and it spills down into your tie. It doesn't look good for a long time. And frankly, the tie is never the same. So I put it up to my lip, and then I say, because I don't want it to, just in case. And they gave me another disease. They gave me another disease.
So, John Heilman, as we were saying, Elvis in '77, complete with a sweat. But he talked about a ramp, and he talked about water, and he talked about TVs on Air Force One for
quite some time.
A long time. He never mentioned George Floyd's name. He never mentioned the fact that we had the worst health care crisis, never acknowledged that we had the worst health care crisis in over 100 years and how serious it was. Instead was joking about, he claimed he was joking about not wanting tests. Didn't acknowledge that we had the worst economic crisis in 90 years and how serious it is and how it may be with us for some time, and we need to keep our heads down. And, of course, never really talked about the civil rights marches that are the most dramatic in a half century since 1968, 1969. Instead, was doing, as you said, sort of a Shecky Greene, Elvis 77 routine that, again, if you want to play in the Poconos this Friday night as an opening act, that's fine. But if you're running for president of the United States and you're down double digits, and this is supposed to be your big comeback, it was just bizarre. There's not a message. He does not have a message going into the heat of this campaign.
Well, that's the thing about Fat Elvis, Joe. In that period, right, when he's in Vegas and he's at his dissolute, lazy, most addled, most sort of lost period, he's playing the hits. You know, he's playing them from memory. So you talked about the Hillary Clinton thing too, right? It's all the 2016 stuff. He's running out all the old favorites. He's got these riffs, the kind of standard cookie cutter culture war stuff. He's throwing it all out there. He knows where there's some red meat to throw out here and there. But how much of that speech, of the 105 minutes, at least 35 minutes of it was a pure waste of time. He did 12 minutes on the ramp and the glass of water, right? 12 minutes on that. He's got another 20 minutes of digressions and stuff that's not either making a positive case for himself or putting a negative frame on Joe Biden. Most of the speech could have been written 6 months ago, 5 years ago. It's kind of out of time. It's not. We're living in this tumultuous moment in America where the reason he's losing, and he knows he's losing, is that the race has become the one thing he feared most, which is a referendum on him. He's not blind. He knows what's happening in the battleground states. He sees the polling. He's obsessed with polls. He knows where he stands. He knows what's going on in that sense and what the political cost is he's paying. And instead of trying to meet that moment politically, forget about it as a leader or as a president, because we can't expect that from him, but just as a politician, like supposedly running for his life, he's not out there saying, hey, I am campaigning now with fierce urgency to try to save my job. Instead, he's wandering around up there and doing like we've been saying. Fat Elvis meets Shecky Greene, play the hits, and waste 105 minutes of people's time. That is not a formula for a president right now, given all the numbers in front of him right now. That is not the formula, the message that's going to lead him back into contention in this race, let alone put him in a position to somehow win it.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.